Civilization VII is the latest game in Sid Meier's Civilization series, and with support for AMD's FSR and Intel XeSS, do you need a new GPU in order to play it? And going by the VRAM numbers, the answer is no. With just 3GB needed to play at 900p at low quality settings, it's one of the least VRAM intensive big budget games in recent memory. Even dialing up the resolution to 4K only increases the VRAM usage to 4GB. If you're looking to play on the high setting, that does require a bit more VRAM, with 8GB needed at 900p and a little bit under 10GB at 4K. And when testing at 1080p with those high settings, every card we tested produced above 60 FPS, with a lowly RTX 3050 giving us 82.9. And if you're looking for above 100 FPS, that's just an RX 6600 XT. But what if you wanted even more? Well, if you want Civilization VII beamed to your eyeballs at 200 FPS, you can do that with an RX 6900 XT or an RTX 4070. If your frontal lobe requires 300 FPS, you can get that with an RX 7900 XTX or an RTX 4070 Ti Super. But if for some reason you needed even more than that, you are going to need a faster CPU than the 9800 X3D, since all the faster NVIDIA cards ran into CPU limits. Bumping up the resolution to 1440p now limits the 300 FPS tier to just one card, the RTX 5090, though you still can get 200 FPS from the RTX 4070 Ti Super or the RX 7900 XTX. If you're looking to game at a silky smooth 100 FPS at 1440p, that is achievable with an ARC B580 or an RTX 3060 Ti, with the 60 FPS line being held by an RX 6600 XT or an RTX 3060. That's not to say that the RX 6600 or RTX 3050 can't game at this resolution, though if you were looking to play this game at 4K, you would probably want to enable some sort of upscaling or lower the settings. The RX 6600 XT and RTX 3060 still maintain above 30 FPS, with the 60 FPS line now being the RTX 3070 and RX 7700 XT. If you are looking for 100 FPS at 4K, you can still get that with an RX 7900 XTX or an RTX 4070 Ti Super. But if you do require your turn-based strategy games to be above 200 FPS, your only option is going to be the RTX 5090 at 232. And if you do need additional performance, then lowering down the settings is a reasonable option, since dropping down to medium does give you a boost of 11% and maintains a similar look overall. Though if you do need all the frames, then dropping down to low does give you 58% more performance than high, though this does change and simplify the overall look of the game.